No. Tea.
No. Yes.
No, I said I drink. I'm not drinking tea now. I'd be like,
City clerk, can we get over there?
We're good.
Good.
broken chair.
For the manager.
You all set, Jim? Welcome everyone to the city council meeting for the city of Evans, February 16th. My name is Brian Rudy. I'm the mayor. I'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Rudy,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Clark,
Here.
Councilmember Spear,
Here.
Councilmember Johnson,
Present.
Councilmember Neal,
President.
Councilmember Castle,
Here.
Councilmember Mortensen.
Here.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a proclamation, the proclamation for National Engineers Week. Whereas engineers use their scientific and technical knowledge and skills in creative and innovative ways to fulfill society's needs, and whereas engineers face the major technological challenges of our time, from rebuilding towns devastated by natural disaster, cleaning up the environment, and assuring safe, clean, and efficient sources of energy, to design information systems that will speed our country into the future. Whereas engineers are encouraging our youth, math and science students to realize the practical power of knowledge, and whereas we look more than ever for engineers and their knowledge and the skills to meet the challenges of the 21st century. Now, therefore, I, Brian Rudy, Mayor of the City of Evans, do hereby proclaim the week of February 21st through February 27th as 2021 as National Engineers Week in the City of Evans. In witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be the official seal of the City of Evans this 16th day of February 2021. And I see our city engineers are here. I'd love to present this to you. Thank you for everything you guys do, for getting our city moving and everything working.
Mayor, yeah. I'd just like to acknowledge our engineering staff. I don't get to brag on them that often. You don't see them that often. But they are led by Mark Oberschmidt, who is our city engineer. He's brought a lot of great, I think, progress in our design and other work in the time that he's been here, and has handled a lot of projects. Big sip from the fire hose. But our engineering staff, we have, I guess, Mark plus two professional engineers, and then one very capable construction inspector, Leon Blasco, whom you heard during the payment management presentation. And they handle, the 40+ capital projects from concept through construction. They also, they influence every private development that we have on a range of questions and formal review responsibilities. I will ask Mark to just stand for a moment and mention anything else he'd like to about his engineering staff, since we are celebrating Engineers Week.
Well,
Come over to the podium there.
okay.
Thanks.
I'm loud. Rick Picard, our senior civil engineer, couldn't make it tonight. He's our water guy. So he and Scott get along great. Scott's the water lawyer, Rick's the water engineer. So he's our NIST
representative. He's our GLIC rep. Remember what GLIC stands for?
Yes.
He's our GLIC representative, so he knows, and he's been in the water business around northern Colorado, not longer than I've been alive, but a long time. I go to him when there's any kind of water questions. And for those of you who like cars, if you want to ever go to his shop, he fixes up cars, and he has some really cool vehicles. He's been offering me a ride for a long time. I just haven't gotten down there yet. And Todd Hepworth is our civil engineer. He's got a diverse background as well. He has more knowledge on the environmental chemistry side, so I've charged him with working on our lagoon decommissioning, anything to do on the wastewater side that we need to do with in terms of helping Robbie out with monitoring and things like that. He also helps out on the development review side in terms of all the projects that come in, and he's been managing our inlets project over on Boardwalk, the 23rd Avenue project. He helped manage that. He's currently working with the Tracto on the bentonite and all the stuff we're doing over there. So he was out there today before 9 o'clock when it was very, very cold. I'm kind of quasi-lucky and unlucky. I spend most of my days in the office. I like to be out there, but I have to be in here a lot. And then, as Jim said, Leon Blasco is our construction inspector, utility locator, and historian, because he's been around here the longest. So if there's something that comes up, I'm like, Leon, do you remember that? He usually does. And then I make him write it down, so when he retires, we have a track somewhere. So I have a really good crew of guys. They all bring a really good background and they bring their A game every day of the week. And I appreciate the proclamation, and go Engineers.
Awesome.
Next item on the agenda is audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address City Council on any item not on the agenda this evening? Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Rudy, I appreciate the opportunity to share with you. I think you have received some information already about the age-friendly communities. But I want to let you know that United Way Weld County Collective Impact process created 4 domains to emphasize. One of those was the aging community. For 2 years, a significant group of representatives and agencies and organizations have been meeting to formulate a comprehensive approach to identify and address the issues faced by our older population. After studying survey results and reviewing the programs being offered in our area, they established goals and criteria to measure change. With a grant from Next 50 Foundation, they hired a staff person to work to develop community volunteers to support the work required to move the process forward. The committee believes at this time the most effective way to move forward is to join with 494 other communities throughout the AARP network of aging-friendly communities, an affiliate of the World Health Organization's global network of age-friendly cities and communities, an international effort launched in 2006 to help cities prepare for their own and the world's growing population of older adults and the parallel trend of urbanization. In 2012, AARP became an affiliate of the WHO network for the United States. In 2018, the state of Colorado joined the network and was the third of 6 states that have joined the network. And since then, there have been 13 cities or counties in Colorado that have joined the network, and the goal for the state is to have 100 within the next 4 years. Important thing to know is that there is no fee to joining the AARP network of age-friendly communities. The main purpose of an age-friendly planning is to do the things you'd normally do in a way that takes into account an aging population. And of course, age-friendly is good for people of all ages. And the Aging Well Committee of the United Way will be doing the work that is required. Once certified, we'll begin holding a series of listening sessions, doing surveys, forming committees and work groups to really determine what our citizens think is most needed and coordinate with existing agencies and organizations to work together to ensure good results. Question that a council might ask is, well, what's in it for you? Membership in the network helps local leaders identify and understand community needs, fosters partnerships among community groups and local stakeholders, provides leadership opportunities for volunteers, access to a network of communities and best practices, and public recognition for committing to become age-friendly. Local communities get to set their own agenda regarding what goals they wish to pursue and evaluate their own progress, not AARP, not any other outside agency. AARP offers organizational guidance from national experts, evaluation tools, a volunteer network of support, access to grants for specific projects, and invitations to organize training and networking activities. Caleb Jackson from the city staff in Greeley, members of the Weld County Area Agency on Aging, have participated in state events. Several from Greeley attended a national event in Denver last year. I've been working with them for about a 5-year period because of the work that I do in our aging communities. To join the committee must provide a letter of support signed by the city's highest elected official. We want to include the city of Greeley, Garden City, and the city of Evans. The letters, along with an application completed by our United Way Aging Well Committee will be submitted to the Colorado Office of AARP, which will forward it to the National Office for certification. I come to you tonight to ask you to support a draft letter saying that you support our efforts and will be open to the information we will make available to you as you do your future planning. Right now, there are over 20 organizations that are working with the Aging Well community. We didn't want to flood the area tonight, so 5 members of our steering committee are watching on Zoom. Janet Bedingfield from 60 Plus Ride, Holly Darby from Weld County Area Agency on Aging, Ron Heil, a citizen member, Sherry Lobemeyer of the Greeley Active Adult Center, myself, and Sean Wolcott, who is in the back, who will be the point person from United Way, and Jazz Garrison and Melanie Woolman from Weld United Way. So I think the important thing is that we think that by combining these 3, because you all work so close together, the state has told us that, well, normally they would want an application from each of the 3 cities. They said in this case, because you work so well together, that they are suggesting that we get a letter of support from each of the cities, and then only 1 application, which we're already working on. That's not going to fall in your lap at all. We would then submit that to the state, and they would submit it to the national. We have been to the city of Greeley. They passed it with unanimous consent. They have drafted their letter. Earlier tonight, I met with Garden City. They were very positive, said they'd start working on their letter and bring it to their next meeting. And so tonight, I'm hoping that you will join with that, and our committee can get busy, and we can make this area one of the best places to live, be age-friendly. I know I took a little more time, but I appreciate it. But I would answer any questions.
Great, thank you. Before we ask questions, thank you for being here tonight, and I am in favor of this, and I am going to ask council, I know we don't take a vote on this action, but I am going to ask if anybody would, I am for writing this letter, and I'm wondering if anybody would like me to do that or has opposition to that.
I'm for it.
I am for it. I think it's important. Likewise.
We have a major consensus here, so I will be writing that letter for you guys. I know the city of Greeley, I talked to Mayor Gates about this item, and he's fully supportive of it too. So I think it's a great thing, trying to help the elder community. I think it's a great idea. And you're right, we do work together great with those communities. So I will be writing a letter for you guys, and we can put it with theirs as well. And
I appreciate that. I appreciate you giving us the time today. And as we come back, our goal will be to be giving you information and sharing best practices.
Great.
So that as you make your plans, it's working for the whole area. And we're not just spinning our wheels, but we're only doing things that we know have worked with all these other communities that are already in the network.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. I'll be getting that to you shortly.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address City Council on any item not on the agenda this evening? Is there anyone virtually? No, great, thank you. Are there any changes to the agenda, City Clerk?
No changes.
I move to approve the agenda.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item, consent agenda. Approval of the February 2nd, 2021 City Council meeting minutes.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item, new business. Consideration of support for 2021 Energy and Mineral Impact Grant Applications Administrative Round for a Stormwater Management Plan for the Industrial Park. We'll hear from staff.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, members of council. One of our major points of emphasis within our economic development plan is to reinforce, support, build new opportunity for our industrial area, particularly our industrial park area. We have identified that one of our themes of just challenges there is the lack of, well, stormwater challenges on lots of different properties when it rains. And we also know that the need, our code requires per standard stormwater practice, that properties have individual stormwater retention and water quality features on properties as they develop. Our community development staff, who has been working closely with a couple property owners, have identified a potential site that could be property that could be donated to the city on kind of the south end of our industrial area could be donated for a centralized potential stormwater facility that could serve all of the various properties within that industrial park. Often along with stormwater projects like that, regional stormwater projects come infrastructure projects as well. Things like paving roads. We have several of our roads through our industrial park are not paved. We'd like to develop some planning for that and some understanding of what those costs might be. So our staff has explored with the Colorado Division of Local Affairs, which is DOLA, the potential for an energy mineral impact grant. Council's familiar with that funding stream from the utility work in 37th Street, and also much of the work, actually, DOLA through this grant funded our stormwater management master plan back in 2016, and we know that they're always pleased to kind of help with the implementation of those plans. That was a community-wide plan. This would focus on the industrial park area. So we've identified the opportunity for a grant. The DOLA staff have encouraged us for this grant. They call it an administrative grant, which means it's non-competitive. There are grants like this. There's a body of funding for $25,000 projects and less, or grant amounts of that amount, to help communities with these kinds of projects. So tonight we're just before you requesting your support and the mayor's signature on the application for us to apply for this administrative grant. The amount would likely be $25,000. We would have to match that. The total stormwater planning project for the industrial area would likely be a total of $50,000 to $75,000. So we would have the rest come from our stormwater fund. We think that this would go a long way toward kind of our collaborative vision for the industrial park, helping with the infrastructure along with a lot of the code enforcement work that's been happening in the industrial park and other, I think, visioning that we need to be doing with those businesses to make that a much more, an even more attractive place to invest. So our community development director, Ann Bess Johnson, is available via Zoom should you have any questions. And we're just looking for your support tonight to apply for the grants. That concludes our remarks, Mayor.
Thank you, Jim. Questions of Jim or Ann or comments?
Pretty straightforward tonight.
Pretty straightforward.
Brad, Amanda, Tammy? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to support staff's pursuit of an administrative grant through DOLA's Energy and Mineral Impact Grant Program and authorize the mayor to sign the application cover letter.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to support staff's pursuit of an administrative grant through DOLA Energy and Mineral Impact Grant Program and authorize the mayor to sign the application cover letter. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you, Jim. Report, city manager.
Thanks, Mayor. Just want to highlight tonight one item from the manager's report. It's our code enforcement division. Just, I know they get a whole lot of play and press in the summertime with a lot of work on weeds, but in the wintertime, they still are very busy. The report has photos of several of our cited properties that they're working with. They completed 75 enforcement activities last week. Again, the vast majority of those, once contact is made, those owners come into compliance through voluntary compliance, but you can see some photos just of the trash. I know trash and debris are big focuses in the wintertime, as well as inoperable vehicles and other nuisance code violations like that. So they're doing a great job. Just wanted to bring your attention to that, and that's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Jim. City attorney?
And you heard enough from me tonight, so nothing further.
It's a great presentation, though, Scott.
Wow.
You're really good at those.
And thank you.
They're very informative.
just-
Although I do think I answered way more questions right than anybody else.
I think you did.
Not sure what happened with
I've
those.
got an extra gift.
Not sure how that coffee got doled out.
I answered one, but.
You hogged all the answers.
Next item on the agenda is audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address city council on any item? Anyone virtually? Meeting adjourned.